Yo, welcome to another episode of the Pepper and Salt Podcast. I am Gideon Bradley. I'm here with,
I'm Barrett Gilboy. What's up, guys?
and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got NFL to go over, we got college to go over, we got boxing to go over, some crazy boxing news. So yeah, it's gonna be a really, really exciting episode.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So the NFL weekend was. We're just gonna get right into the NFL weekend. It was, I guess we call it the day of blowouts, the weekend of
Yeah, it
blowouts.
really was. It really was.
Everybody got dominated. Nothing was close. It felt like, except for maybe the Monday night game. We'll get to that. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll start out with, I say maybe the craziest game for me of the weekend was. We'll go straight into Homer's corner with our two home teams. So my Titans absolutely destroy the Chiefs.
That was the most surprising game by far. Like I picked them to win. I picked Kansas City to win. I thought it was gonna be I didn't want to say easy game, but like I didn't think that Titans defense was gonna be able to stop the weapons, Mahomes. But they had Mahomes looking more shook than he did in the Super Bowl.
Man, it was absolute anarchy. I'm watching the game and the entire time I'm just waiting for Mahomes to turn it on and start throwing touchdowns. And the Titans defense absolutely never let up the entire time. Harold Landry's running free. Bud Dupree got a sack. I mean, they were all over the place.
It looked so good defensively against one of the best offenses, which is crazy.
Tip balls, turnovers left and right. Mahomes looked terrible. He looked absolutely awful. And like I said, the entire game, I'm just watching it, waiting for us to screw it up somehow. Never happened, man. Titans were on that thing the entire time. So I guess it kind of makes you ask, like, what's going on with Mahomes and the Chiefs? Like, there hasn't been a lot of turnover on that team.
Yeah.
And it seems like all of a sudden now Mahomes is making terrible decisions, arguing with refs constantly. Seems like he's just, I don't know if the game has gotten harder for him or if the offensive line's a problem. I'm not sure where the issue is.
It's like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen that stat. He's thrown 9, 10 interceptions already. I mean, this is a guy who really doesn't turn over the ball that much. I mean, he makes a lot of big plays. He doesn't turn over the ball that much, and now he's throwing 1 or 2 interceptions a game.
Yeah, he threw 6 picks all last year. Yeah, he's already thrown 9.
It's just crazy. I can't even tell you what it is. It's something, but it's like they have basically the same offense, a revamped offensive line that on paper looks better than last year, and they're just starting slow. The play calling is questionable. I don't know. I don't know what it is with the Chiefs. I couldn't answer.
Yeah, and I'm not sure either. I mean, I know that defense is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
But that's kind of always been their trademark. I mean, they had a decent offensive line, good enough to get pressure.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I guess, made up for the fact that they didn't have a great secondary outside of
Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu. So you kind of makes you question, like, is it a scheme thing? Do they need to get a new defensive coordinator? I'm not sure what the next step is to fix that. And I know Mahomes, he just seems like he's just pressing way too hard. He's trying way too hard. Even the Titans game, you could tell he's throwing balls he wouldn't normally throw. He's making decisions way faster than he probably should be, and running into trouble left and right. And so I don't know if the NFL's figured out their scheme, and because I know the Titans went in there with a secondary that was absolutely decimated. We picked up Maben from Arizona off their practice squad, and the dude comes in and starts on Sunday, and our secondary looks like our Pro Bowl secondary.
Yeah.
So at that point, it leads me to believe that maybe the NFL might be figuring out a little bit of how the Chiefs, and so then you kind of wonder, okay, is it coaching because they're not able to make the changes they need to combat that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's a team last year who's in the Super Bowl. Last year who, I mean, even if they did start off, you never doubted Kansas City was out of the game.
Ever.
Like they could turn it up. Like when they were down, was it like 21-0 that Houston game in the playoffs, and they end up blowing them out by the end of the game.
Yeah, scored like 24 straight
That's
points.
That's the type of team the Kansas City Chiefs were, and now we have a team that didn't get. What was the final score of that game?
27-3.
27-3. That means they did not get one touchdown.
No
Couldn't get in the end
touchdowns.
zone. Mahomes did check out early. Was it on a concussion or a head
Apparently, it
injury?
was a magical non-concussion. I'm not sure how he cleared protocol when he stumbled off the field, but Kansas
Yeah.
City doctors? I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad he's not injured.
Yeah.
I would never want anybody to be hurt. But I thought that was crazy that he went into that tent for like 3 seconds and came back out. They said he cleared protocol. That was insane. But like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with the Chiefs. It's insane the turnaround. It's crazy to think. I don't know that anybody would have put money on them being 3-4 in their first 7, and Mahomes throwing 9 picks in 7 games after he threw 6 all last year. So I know they gotta figure that out quick because that division is tough. The Raiders looked really good this weekend. You got the Chargers in there. I mean, they don't have a lot of room. They don't have a lot of wiggle room for error in that division or in the AFC. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC. But we'll get to our next Homer corner game, which was Gideon's team, which is the Seahawks and the Saints. I'm gonna let him get this one rolling.
Well, I mean, quite frankly, the Seattle Seahawks are untalented, unuseful, and borderline like unwatchable. The play calling is like so bad. There's no way that Alex Collins. I get it, Seahawks fans. He's running decently. He's running okay. That doesn't mean that we run the ball with him more than the Titans run with Derrick Henry. I don't want to see 9 carries back to back to back to back. Why are we running the ball 6 times? Like, just back to back. And we're not getting any yardages. The very first time we passed the ball was the DK Metcalf. And he went off for like 74 yards. Touchdown. Why did DK Metcalf only have 6 targets that game? Why did Tyler Lockett not have a catch that game? Why are we not passing the ball? Because we have Geno Smith. The worst quarterback I've ever seen have to go out there and play. This guy is just running into sacks. He's taking sacks in the worst positions. And the play calling is just the worst I've seen in a while. Last episode, I said I would be sad that Pete Carroll's gone. Get him out. I don't care anymore. You stated it perfectly in the press conference after the game that the reason that you are still here is because Russell Wilson. Without Russell Wilson, you are nothing, and you just need to be out. You need to be out. The offensive coordinator is even worse. Don't get me started about him. Jesus, I don't know if he. I don't know how he got this job, and I don't know how he still has his job. And the defense is finally stepping up. We held the Saints to a touchdown, 1 touchdown, and the offense can't get any points on the board. It's hard to watch, to be honest with the Seahawks fan. We play the Jaguars next week. I don't even think we can beat them, to be honest. Can we score on the Jaguars? I know they can score on us, but can we score on the Jaguars? I don't know.
That's
the
tough.
Seahawks look terrible.
That's tough. Well, I mean, from the other side of it, I will say that the Saints defense looks really good. Their secondary's pretty legit, and that D-line is pretty nasty. I don't think that the Saints offense is what it used to be. But I will tell you that defense is nasty, and I think if they can hold teams to low-scoring games, I think the Saints are an absolute threat in the NFC. I'm interested to see. I'm pretty sure they play Tampa Bay pretty soon. I'm interested to see that game because I feel like their defense is good enough to maybe hold Tom Brady in check and maybe get him off his spot a little better than other teams have. But then it kind of comes down to, okay, well, where's their scoring coming from? Yeah. But also their best wide receivers not even playing.
Well, their best wide receivers are running back, to be honest.
Yeah. They threw about 97 screens to him. It's like every single one of them went for like 100 yards.
Well, do you really think the Saints defense is that much better than the Bears defense?
Oh, absolutely. For sure. But I also think the Saints offense is better than the Bears offense. Just by principle.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I don't think that I don't think Jameis did a bad job last night.
Yeah,
they moved the ball. It just finishing was the problem.
Yeah.
Between the 20s, they were all over the place, and Jameis was running for first downs. He wasn't making bad decisions. I felt like the Saints looked pretty good. They just need to score more.
Yeah.
But Seahawks, man, I feel bad for you, bro.
I mean,
because
it is what it is.
they're just looking rough. And you're right. It's almost like the injuries are there, but at some point you have to have some type of depth to deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to know injuries are going to happen. Happens to everybody. But you have to have the depth and be able, which is why it's tough when you give away all your draft picks.
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of your depth comes from. And so if you're trading draft picks every year for players, yeah, you got a great, your front line's amazing. But what's behind that, right? Like you guys are like, you got Alex Collins back there. That's awesome. But the back end of that defense, that's tough. And the defense they look old. They look slow. They kind of seem like, I mean, they played pretty good defense last night, but I mean, how much defense can you play if you can't score?
Well, I mean, and I'll say this: Jamal Adams has been playing way better. They're using him correctly. He's at the line a lot more. He's all over the place. Bobby Wagner, as usual, is leading the league in tackles. I think it's most importantly, it's the corners are terrible, and the scheme. I don't know. Keen Norton should have been fired last year. I would guarantee he's gonna get fired this year. I would guarantee there's gonna be a lot of changes this year. Um, but I think it all boils down to what is Russell Wilson going to do? Because last year, there was all the questions. Is Russell Wilson going to get traded? Is he going to go to the Bears, the Cowboys? There's a lot of teams that wanted Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the reason that we've been as good. I'll say this every week. Russell Wilson is the reason we're in games. We are winning that Steelers game if Russell Wilson's in the game. I think that Saints game, we put up a lot more points than we did this time if Russell Wilson's in that game.
For sure.
I mean, at this point, I didn't think we allow Russell Wilson to come back. I say just take the rest of the season off. It's going to hurt him, and he's not going to want to do that, but we're not fighting for anything anymore. We're in the same division with the Cardinals and the Rams. We're not making the playoffs. I'll be surprised if we get over 8 wins. So we just need to let Russell Wilson recover fully and look towards rebuilding in the future, to be honest.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. So I guess you would say just sit him.
Yeah,
until he's
Russell.
fully healthy. Because I know he's trying to get back as quickly as possible. And they keep moving that timetable up and up and up. I'm trying to get back. So
yeah, please just sit him. It's not worth it.
So I guess that answers that question.
Not
so we're gonna move on to I know, like I said, there was a lot of blowouts, man. It was a crazy weekend. One topic I want to hit on was the Bengals. Yes. Can we talk about the Bengals? They look absolutely fully legit. Their offense is out of control. Jamar Chase is an absolute beast after everybody trash talked him because he couldn't catch a ball in preseason. Dude goes out against the Ravens and drops 200 yards on them. I mean, are we just going to go ahead and pencil him in for Rookie of the Year?
I mean, he's playing so good. It's like the same thing as how Justin Jefferson was playing last year.
Yep.
Like
LSU wide receivers.
LSU wide receivers. I mean, they go and they ball at the next level. I mean, and an LSU quarterback is thrown to him. Joe Burrow is looking great as well. The Bengals look really good offensively. They look really good. The defense was able to hold Lamar Jackson pretty well. But
they pulled Lamar out at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing in the fourth quarter.
I will say this. Hollywood Brown has definitely gotten better. I think he got trashed in the beginning of the season for missing, not catching a lot of balls, but he has definitely progressed. That's the only thing that I can take out for the Ravens is that Lamar looked decent for what he had, and then Hollywood looked pretty good. But the Bengals just took over the game like I thought they were going to, and they played really well.
Yeah, I was wrong about that one. I definitely thought the Ravens were going to win that game. I did think it was going to be close because I definitely have a newfound respect for the Bengals. Their coach has got them playing, man, and he has drafted amazing because they are deep at pretty much every position. Their tight end is a beast, Umoja.
Yeah, I never heard of him, but then he starts balling out.
Dude, he's an absolute monster.
Couple weeks. Yeah.
And then they got Joe Mixon at running back. Yeah. Dude, that offense is absolutely legit. You got to pick your poison on that because they're going to burn you one way or the other. And they looked great, absolutely amazing against the Ravens. So I had to give them props for sure. So that one was definitely a surprise for me. So I think we're probably gonna move on to our pick'ems.
Here we go.
So last week, let's just say that I finished slightly ahead of Gideon.
Slightly.
So 10-7.
10-7.
10-7.
It's not the worst.
Early lead. It's not looking good. We're going to have to figure something out.
The Eagles let me down, to be honest.
Drop something in the comments. We're still looking for punishments.
Nothing too crazy. I might lose.
So, yes, the Eagles definitely let you down, bud. That was and the Niners also let you down.
I've never been the Niners again. I hate the Niners, and I'm gonna go with my gut.
That was the ugliest game I've ever seen played. It was devastating. There was like torrential downpour. Carson Wentz threw a ball directly to a defender.
What in his gut?
What the heck was that? I don't know how the Colts won. I was like, what is going on? But Jimmy G looked terrible. Obviously, he's not a rain guy. So I'm up 10-7 so far, but we're gonna roll through these picks real quick and go through our Week 8 pick'ems. So first game, this Thursday night game, Packers Cardinals.
That's a game.
Probably the game of the week. However, I'm gonna be a nice guy since I'm up 10-7. You do know Devontae has the COVID. And he's probably not playing. I'm just dropping that one in there for you.
Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams has COVID. And unless he gets 2 negative tests in a row before Thursday, he's out.
Well, let me hit you with this. It doesn't matter. The Packers still win that game.
Oh, my God.
Aaron Rodgers is – did you see him last week? Aaron Rodgers can beat the Cardinals. And this isn't me being a Seahawks fan. This is me being a smart fan.
This feels like a homer pick. People, pick it up.
The Packers can beat them. I know for a fact they can beat them. The Cardinals are not that good. They're playing the Texans. Are we impressed with that win? I don't care.
No, I'm impressed with all their other wins and the 0 losses.
I think the Packers can get it done. I'll just leave it at that.
I like it. I like your hot take. Reverse hot take. I'm taking Arizona. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on, man.
I believe.
There's no way. The Cardinals will they're going to win by at least 13.
On the Packers?
For sure.
I don't think so. No way.
Called it. Right here. Remember what you just heard. All right, you ready? Got a garbage bowl. Panthers, Falcons. You want me to take first pick on this one?
Yeah.
Falcons. Not even close.
Panthers, Falcons.
I'll tell you why it's the Falcons. Because without Christian McCaffrey, the Panthers are an absolute dumpster fire. Sam Darnold is a garbage can.
I thought you said last week that he was renovating his career.
I was wrong. He's not. He got benched against the Giants.
Yikes.
You got benched against the Giants?
That's embarrassing.
The Giants are the biggest dumpster fire in the world. Are you for real?
Yeah.
Lost to the Giants. Can we talk about something real quick?
Let's go.
Can we talk about Daniel Jones catching that?
That was crazy.
What the heck was that?
I've never seen a quarterback go like that and actually get it. That was crazy. Yeah.
I don't want to throw the E word around, but that's elite action right there, bud.
Don't throw the E word.
Come on, bud. One-handed in the end zone.
Daniel Jones. Wow.
Bro, let's go. DJ Daniel Jones. All right, so I'm going Falcons because Kyle Pitts is a beast, and he's probably going to destroy the Panthers just by himself. He had like 160 yards receiving last week. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I got the Falcons as well.
Yeah.
Panthers don't look like they even started 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah, I concur. They're absolutely awful.
Terrible.
It's crazy how much one player can make a difference, but Christian McCaffrey, he's that guy.
Yeah, he does everything for them.
So here's my game of the week. Titans-Colts.
Titans-Colts.
I'm going to go Titans.
Titans and the Colts already played, right?
They have.
Titans won that match.
Yes. And I feel like Titans are going to win this match. I feel like the Titans are absolutely riding on just like a wave. You beat the Bills, and then you turn around and beat the Chiefs back to back. It's two of the best teams in the AFC. Well, maybe not the Chiefs right now, but that offense is legit. So I feel like the Titans are legit, and they did that with a whole bunch of backups.
The thing with the Titans sometimes for me, this is the same thing that lost to the New York Jets. So sometimes they're a little they're a little, they can, it goes all over the place. But I think they're gonna get the win against the Colts.
And I feel like they kind of the team mentality feel like it's turned a corner.
Mm.
I feel like Vrabel's going to get them ready for this game. I feel like they know that if they win this game, you can pretty much go ahead and gift wrap the AFC South. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Because you're already up by, 2 games? Technically 3 because you got a win. You got undefeated record in your own division.
Mm.
You can call it. Year's over if they win this one. But yeah, Titans for sure. So the next one, this is going to be a tough one for you. Dolphins, Bills. Who you got?
The Dolphins and the Bills. Yeah, let's go ahead and get down with the Bills.
Yeah, you're going to go ahead and skip that hot take. Nobody wants that hot take.
Unless Deshaun Watson comes into the picture.
Nope. Don't think that's happening. I don't think he's going to jump in there and save them anytime soon. Well, at least not right now. So the next one, Bengals, Jets. Now, I'm going to give you a hot tip. Joe Flacco is now the quarterback for the Jets.
Well, this changes the whole game.
It changes everything.
Joe Flacco is
elite. I've heard you say it multiple times.
Was a former elite quarterback. The Jets might be able to get it done, but they're not going to get it done against the Bengals. Not this week.
No hot takes here either.
Let him get into the offense of the Jets, and might be a turnaround season for them.
Yeah, no hot takes here. That's a roll. It's over. It may already be over before it's even begun. So the next one, Steelers, Browns. This is actually interesting.
Huh.
Because the Browns, they pulled something off. They got a running back off a fishing boat last week.
And runs for like 100 yards.
Runs for like 160 yards.
You know what?
But it was against the Broncos. So.
For some reason, my head is telling me to pick the Steelers here. It's just saying Steelers. It's disregarding Big Ben's terrible play. And it's just saying, I feel like the Browns one was just like, it was against the Broncos. And, I mean, is Baker still out? I think Baker's probably still going to be out.
I don't know.
But then, like, it's just like the Browns are a really talented team.
It's a tough one.
I'm gonna stick with the Browns.
Going Browns. All right. I'm going to go Steelers.
Wow. That's going to be an interesting game.
I feel like Najee's due a big game. And I think he can get that against the Browns. I feel like if they throw those screens and run to avoid that pass rush, which hopefully they will do, I feel like Najee's due a big game. I'm going to go Steelers. So the next one, this could be the hot Dookie Bowl. Eagles, Lions.
Eagles, because Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback.
You've said that. It did not seem to be that way last week.
He's running for his life.
I think I'm going to have to pick the Eagles as well, just because process of elimination, someone has to lose, and this year it's going to be the Lions, whether it's on a 66-yard field goal or however creative ways they find to lose, which this week, they found a really creative way to lose to the Rams, who they were with the entire game until the very end.
Yeah.
So the next one, Rams, Texans. Speaking of the Rams.
Yeah, well, the Rams are going to win that one. They don't have to need to start their starters, to be honest.
Texans are an absolute dumpster fire. They may not recover for like 10 years. They're terrible. Next one is, this one's pretty interesting, 49ers, Bears.
49ers and the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win that one. I think they're going to finally, I think they're going to regroup a little bit. I mean, it was a tough break. They faced the Buccaneers, one of the best teams in the league. I think the Bears are just they're both teams are they're meh teams, but I think the Bears defense should be able to pull that one out. And if it's Jimmy, then yeah, we know about Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm going Niners.
Wow. Niners.
Yeah, I think the Bears offensively, they're absolutely terrible. They're awful.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you fix that. I think Justin Fields will probably get it together towards the end of the season once he's got some more playing time under his belt. But man, I don't see it. And I feel like the Niners got enough pass rush to cause him problems. And I think he's probably gonna be running for his life.
Yeah.
The entire game. So I'm going to go 49ers. I think they get it right. I think they get it back on track. I think they can beat the Bears. So the next one is pretty interesting. We got Pats Chargers.
Pats Chargers.
Pats Chargers.
The Pats won last week, didn't they?
They did. They absolutely destroyed the Jets. And also Zach's kneecap.
Poor Zach Wilson.
It's rough, man.
That's
what happens when they throw you to the Wolves.
I think the Chargers are going to be able to beat. I think the Chargers. I mean, they look questionable, but I just don't think the Patriots. I mean, sometimes they pull it together and they play really well. The Patriots are also the same team that competed with the Cowboys for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Give me the Patriots.
Okay.
Give me Mac.
Give me Mac. We got a hot take.
Give me Mac. Why not?
I think I'm gonna take Herbie. I'm definitely taking the Chargers. I feel like they're gonna get it right, and I feel like they're gonna be all over. I feel like they're gonna be all over Mac Jones. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think that might be the difference there, and I feel like they're probably gonna come out guns blazing after that Baltimore game. I think they're out to prove something, and they're probably gonna get it proved. I don't know. I mean, Max, he looks really good, but he's still a rookie. And so I feel like the Chargers defense is pretty good. So and they've, their head coach is former defensive coordinator, so I think they're going to get that right pretty quick. So the next one, your game of the week.
The game of the week.
Jags, Seahawks.
You can go first. I actually need to think about it.
I mean, I think the Jags are terrible. I think the Seahawks defense is good enough to win them a game. And I think this is the game. I think they will score at least one touchdown on defense. I'm calling it right now. I feel like their linebackers are good. You still got Bobby Wagner. You're good on the back end. Well, good enough, especially against the Jags. I think that Seahawks are going to win this game for sure.
I mean, I think it's going to be like a field goal type game for us to win. I mean, I'll go with my Seahawks because I love this team, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't look at my phone and be like, we're losing? That's not surprising. But, I mean, hopefully we win. Hopefully we can get some type of momentum because we're not tanking for anything, so we don't have a first-round pick. But, I mean, we're just there.
Hey, welcome, bud. Welcome to having a team that sucks. I've been a Titans fan for a long time. We've been sucky for a lot of years prior to this year. So the next is a pretty interesting game. Probably be a close game. We've got the Washington football team against the Broncos.
Oh, God. The
Yeah.
Washington football team versus the Broncos.
That is correct.
Oh, God. The football team stinks. But so do the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I mean, Washington football team just is not good. You got Tyler Heineke diving on the goal line and still like no one's there. He dies and he doesn't get a touchdown. Yeah, give me the Broncos.
Heine. We're going football team.
That's not. You might let me back in it with
Come on, man. Heineke's got the juice.
He's just not good. I don't care that people like him.
He's got the juice. Yeah. I feel like Heine's winning this game. I think he's going to dive one in, and he's going to actually make it this time. Touchdown. That's all it's going to take against the Broncos because they're terrible. Come on, man.
They were 3-0 at one point.
Yeah, they were against trash can teams. And this is what happens when you have to actually play real teams. They couldn't even beat the Browns, and the Browns had like 900 backups.
But I feel like the Browns' backups are equivalent to the Washington football team.
Stop. No. You serious?
I'm absolutely 100% serious.
Come on, man. Well, Heineken, yeah, probably, but he's got the juice, man. He's going to win.
Not enough juice.
For sure, he's got it. So the next one, this one's pretty interesting. Cowboys Vikings.
Oh, Cowboys. Cowboys are on fire. I don't think anyone's beating the Cowboys. I mean, it's going to have to be like a really good – this has to be a good matchup for the Cowboys. The Cowboys look good offensively. You got someone on defense that has, 7, 8 – Diggs has 7 or 8. I used a lot of interceptions.
Feels like he's got 20.
Yeah, Cowboys win that game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Vikings are good enough on offense, and they're definitely not good enough on defense. Yeah. Dak's out of control. Zeke looked like he's back. I mean, on offense, who do you stop, man? CeeDee Lamb, and you got Amari Cooper.
You got yeah, they're so stacked.
They're
wide
stacked,
receiver.
man, everywhere.
Yeah.
And their defense is finally good. I mean,
Mm,
come on, man.
yeah.
Cowboys are legit. Cowboys for sure. And then the Monday night showdown extravaganza. Everybody's going to be watching the Manning cast because no one's going to care about this game. It's the Chiefs at the Giants.
Oh God.
This is actually a lot harder than I previously thought
Yeah.
after watching the Chiefs play the Titans.
Is Mahomes like going to play? Is that like I don't?
Mahomes is going to play because you saw he passed concussion protocol.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are gonna win that. I don't think the Giants are that good. I think the Chiefs should at least be able to beat the Giants. I would hope.
So I feel like this is going to be a lot closer than people think. Because I feel like the Giants' defense is actually really good. But I don't think I can't pick the Giants.
It's like you're stuck in
I
the
just
old
can't.
Chiefs ways. You're like,
I just can't. Although I think Daniel Jones, second touchdown catch. They're running trick plays left and right. They don't even care anymore. Guarantee you there'll be at least one fake punt in that game by somebody because they both got to win. So those are our picks. We'll let you know next week how we're doing on the pick'ems. So I think we're probably going to go ahead and we got one more topic we're going to talk about. So me and Gideon were kind of running this over, and there's been a lot of chatter about Deshaun Watson getting traded. And apparently it's like imminent to either the Dolphins or the Panthers. So we both were talking and kind of want to throw this topic out there. Minus all of his issues off the field, if he gets traded, who does he help more? If he gets traded, would he help the Dolphins more or would he help the Panthers more? So what do you think, Gideon? Where do you think he would have the most impact, and could he turn either one of those teams around immediately?
Yes, I think it's the Panthers. There's a lot of chatter about the Dolphins last year, and that looked good, but the Dolphins don't look the same as they did last year. Not the Cardinals. The Panthers, they're decently. They got Gilmore, they got decent wide receivers. I think you put Deshaun Watson in there. I don't think that team's bad, but I don't think. You're inserting Deshaun Watson into two tough divisions to go into because you had the Buccaneers on top of one, and then you have the Bills on the other one. I think he makes more of an impact for the Panthers. I think they're a much better football. I think both teams are better football teams with Deshaun Watson. But I think the Panthers look a lot more better. Deshaun Watson and Christian McCaffrey. Now, how many times are we going to be able to see that with Christian McCaffrey getting hurt? Yeah, we don't know. But I think he's better with the Panthers.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that. My main reasoning behind it would be that they're still in it. I think at 3-4, they're struggling, but they're not dead in the water.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the Dolphins are 1-6.
Yeah, they've only won one game.
They're struggling, and they're in a division where the Pats are seeming to be coming back around. So they're kind of back on the up. But so I feel like if you were to go to the Dolphins, I feel like the Dolphins may have more overall talent on their roster, and he might do better there, but I feel like he's probably got an easier road, which kind of sounds bad, in the NFC South as opposed to the AFC East. Because I feel like the AFC East is probably a little more stacked. You got the Jets at the bottom, but I feel like you got two other teams probably better than you. But I tend to agree. I feel like the Panthers probably a little bit easier division, and right now they're still in it. So, if he were to get that trade, I feel like they could turn it around quick because I feel like they do have the defense to do that. And if they could just get a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over, Sam Darnold, man, ever since McCaffrey went down, he's a train wreck. And I think it's just because they can't really build an offense around him, and they don't have the talent behind McCaffrey to make that big of a difference. So I tend to agree with that, but I could see arguments for both.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Dolphins probably got a better chance at it because I feel like they got more capital to trade. Um, but it's an interesting thought. I'd love to see Deshaun Watson playing with Christian McCaffrey on the same team.
Yeah, that would be good offense.
That offense would be absolutely out of control. But I do think it's an interesting thought, and hopefully the next couple of days we're going to find something out because the trade deadline's coming up. So they're going to have to pull the trigger on something, and we keep hearing rumblings. So maybe next episode we'll be able to discuss which team he's going to.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to probably move on to our next topic. We're going to go over a couple of the college football games this weekend were pretty surprising. I would say, first off, Penn State losing was insane. Did not see that coming. They seemed like their defense was on fire. They seemed like they were rolling. And then it seems like every year that they're good and in the top 10 or 12, they seem to find a way to mess it up.
Yeah, they always start off really well, and they just like the more they go into the mid-season, they just like I guess they get figured out where they're just not as good as we think they were. But yeah, I didn't think they were that good to begin with. But I mean, yeah, now it's just the loss was surprising to be honest. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it was insane. I think James Franklin is overrated, personally. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It seems like anytime the big game comes up, he's always on the losing end of it. So I'm not sure why he's in discussions for this USC job and everybody wants him as a coach because it seems like he never can win that one big game to get him into that upper echelon of coaches. So I don't know, but it was shocking because I felt like their defense was I felt like it was a national title contender defense, and then they turn around and lose. So that was crazy. Couldn't believe that. Also, I know we talked about Oklahoma a couple of times. Man, did they almost just about lost to Kansas.
They're like this is the most weirdest Oklahoma team I've ever seen because like I don't know how they're still undefeated. Like they barely escape every time.
I'm not sure where they got the leprechaun hidden because absolute Kansas was all over them, and Kansas is 1-5.
Yeah.
How in the world are you letting Kansas run you like that? And you gotta come back in the fourth quarter and barely.
Yeah,
what
barely
is
good.
happening?
Yeah, Oklahoma's.
It's just a matter of time. They're definitely going to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know how they haven't already lost like 2.
Oh yeah,
It's insane. Even with the new quarterback,
yeah.
which that dude's a beast. Don't get me wrong. And he absolutely was like, "Get on my shoulder, boys. I'm carrying you to this victory." Because he went ham in the fourth quarter. But man, they were absolutely in trouble. They were right on the ropes against a 1-5 Kansas team.
1-5 Kansas team, yeah.
What are I kept looking at it like, what am I watching? Is this really happening? Am I in like bizarro world? Like, why are they not destroying them right now? Oklahoma, man, I don't know how they're still undefeated. We'll keep talking about it as long as they're undefeated because it makes no sense.
Keep on getting brought up.
It doesn't make any sense. So, another crazy crazy game. Oklahoma State, Iowa State. Another top 10 team. Another loss. It seems like no one wants to go to the playoff. Everyone's losing. Every week, someone in the top 10 is losing. Cincinnati almost lost.
Yeah, the teams, yeah.
What are we?
It's like the most interesting year of college football. Teams are losing left and right.
Left and right.
Yeah.
So this Oklahoma State game had a very interesting moment in it where the Iowa State wide receiver, I don't know his name, so I apologize, catches a touchdown pass, a long touchdown pass, probably like 60 or 70-yard touchdown pass, beats the corner and the safety, turns around and gives like a half a second look, walks into the end zone, and gets called for taunting, and the touchdown gets called back.
Yeah, that's some of the taunting calls. college football and NFL included. I don't know why they're doing this. It's like an element of the game that you're taking away because I mean some players are literally remembered for moments like that. Like I mean, imagine Deion Sanders getting an interception. He starts high stepping into the end zone and gets called for a flag.
Right.
I mean, it's disappointing to see, especially like that play because it got called back, which
And,
is
and the
he
crazy
didn't he
part is
didn't
he
do
went back
anything.
and scored again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say he got his touchdown, but he had to do it
yeah,
twice for no reason because literally he didn't do anything. He didn't throw the ball at nobody. He didn't spike the ball. He didn't get in somebody's face and yell at him. He literally turned around, turned back around, and scored, and they called it back for that. It was terrible. It was one of the worst calls I've ever
yeah.
seen in a football game. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? There's got to be a line on where that taunting is called and where it's not. Absolutely insane. And so the final college football was Tennessee, Alabama.
Mm.
So the game was very close
In the
all the
beginning,
way to the fourth quarter, right? Back
yeah.
and forth. Tennessee's in it within a score until probably like the last 9 minutes. And then Alabama absolutely wrecks them in the last 9 minutes. So my question is this even still a rivalry?
You know, like, I guess, like, I mean, because they're always gonna play each other. But I mean, I don't see Tennessee like beating Alabama anytime soon. I mean, Alabama just is too good at recruiting, too well coached, and UT isn't like in a bad position. I'm not saying UT is terrible. They're competing with some of the better teams in their I mean, they're competing with Ole Miss. They're competing with Alabama. It UT is just a couple years away, to be honest. I think they need to get their stuff figured out. I mean, last year was terrible. A lot of stuff happened at Tennessee over the year. I mean, I think Tennessee give them 2 years, let them recruit. I think it's a rivalry. I think they're gonna be able to play with Alabama, but it's a so rivalry, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think it may be one of those rivalries that gets reignited.
Mm,
But with the amount of domination that Alabama's laid on Tennessee, like it's not really a rivalry right now.
yeah,
It's just a game on the schedule
yeah,
where you know you're going to get rolled.
yeah.
And
Definitely
I'm
so.
not even an Alabama fan, but it is what it is. You got to face truth. Alabama's coming to town, you're probably going to lose. But I do feel like Heupel's got him going in the right direction. I feel like Hendon Hooker looks really great. I feel like Heupel's offense is amazing. And to be honest, they've been playing pretty good defense too. Like I said, they held Alabama in check for 3 quarters,
Mm.
3.5 quarters. They played them tied up or within a score.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they did pretty well going back to back games against the two of the best quarterbacks in the nation. I mean, they don't look bad. I think it's just those teams being a lot better.
Yeah, and I feel like you're right. I feel like Heupel give them a year, two to recruit and get some depth.
Yeah,
'Cause I think that's part of the problem. I know when he first came in, they half the team transferred out. And so that's tough sledding. You're coming in outside of recruiting time. You can't really recruit. You've just kind of got to do with what you've got and try your hand in the transfer portal to get kids in there to play. I don't even think I think they had like 40 something players suited up to play. So, I mean, it was an admirable effort, but I don't think it's a rivalry right now. I
yeah.
think it's a domination right now. Um, so I think now we're probably gonna transition over to the NBA.
Mm.
Man, there's been a lot going on. So first topic, I mean, are the Lakers in trouble already?
Like I told you, the Lakers not winning a preseason game was a little concerning. But when you have AD and Dwight Howard going at each other on the bench on your sideline, I mean, it doesn't look good at
I'm
all.
starting to jump on your bandwagon here, bud. Yeah, and you know when your leading scorer is coming off the bench, like that's not a good look. I
I don't even like, and this is like, I don't think they're bad enough to not make the playoffs or not to be competitive with other teams. The start is just not good. I think they're a team that has to grow together a little bit more. I think they'll get together in the middle of the season. It's a long season. It's just begun. Is a little concerning guess because I think they should be beating some of the teams. I mean, the Warriors one was a little acceptable. I mean, the Warriors are pretty good, but yeah, I mean, it's concerning. If I was a Lakers fan, I would be concerned.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if they're just a collection of players or a team. I don't think they're a
Yeah.
team yet. I think they're just a collection of players. But I think they got plenty of time to gel. But right now, it's not look good. The experiment does not look great.
Yeah.
They do not look like a super team right now. They look concerning. They look old and slow, and they don't look great. But it's a whole season, so we're going to see where it goes. But right now, I would say concern level probably got to be at least moderate at this point. You got to be at least concerned with that. But speaking of, you spoke on that, Golden State, are they back or?
I mean, I feel like the reason Golden State hasn't been good is because Clay's been in and out. I mean, getting hurt constantly over and over again. When Golden State's healthy, I mean, they're one of the better teams. I mean, Golden State can score quickly. They have two of the best shooters of all time on their team. I would say Golden State is back. I would say, I mean, when you have Steph Curry playing at an MVP level again, back to back seasons, Golden State's back.
I
would say
agree.
so.
I agree. I think if Clay stays healthy, watch out, dude. They're going to absolutely light people up. And, that's always a big if because he seems like he has a history of injuries. And I hope he doesn't because I want to see this team. I think they're fun to watch. I mean, are you kidding me? They're just dropping shots left and right. I think, last week he had, was he like 9 for 9 on threes or something?
Yeah, I mean, that team is one of the best. I mean, they've been
Ridiculous.
constantly one of the best shooting teams in the league.
Ridiculous. And his brother over in Philly.
Yeah, Seth's been playing good.
Seth, what the heck? He's turned into like a full-blown powerhouse shooter all of a sudden, man. But, and then I guess the Nets, man.
Yeah, I mean,
where are they going to find offense? That's what I need to know because I'm pretty sure they got absolutely destroyed the other night. They scored like 56 points in the whole game.
I mean, and last year the question is when they're going to get defense, but now it's like, is it them not having Kyrie? I don't know what it is. I don't know the difference because they didn't play. I mean, they played good without Kyrie before.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just had to ask because
two teams that we thought were going to be the better teams are struggling.
And I mean, there's a whole season, but you got to at least ask the questions because where are the answers going to come from? Because I don't know. I don't know on that bench. I don't know. I don't know on there what the answer is to fix that scoring issue they have. Because in the NBA, if you can't score, you're done. You're not going to get it done with defense, and they definitely ain't a defensive team anyways. And if they're not scoring, they're losing.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole team setup is we're going to run you, and we're going to beat you by 20 or 30, and you're not going to be able to score with us. But if they don't have the scores to do that, where do they go? I know Blake Griffin, he's not, a long-term answer.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder, do they look at a trade or do they try
they're a win now type of team. I mean, it's not a team that you're waiting 5 years to start winning.
Right.
I mean, they ain't gonna start going now, and I think they're one of the teams that they'll probably get into it, but early on they don't look too good.
Right. And then I gotta just drop like a 2-minute Ben Simmons. So So Ben Simmons doesn't want to play for the 76ers. We get that. He wants to be traded. We get that. They don't think that they're getting what they want. So then he goes to practice or doesn't go to practice. And now he's not mentally ready to play? What is happening?
I don't know. Does anyone know what's happening with Ben Simmons? I don't like. I thought the main issue was he just doesn't want to be a 76er. I don't know. I mean, are we dealing with a Kyrie Jr.? I don't know what's happening right now with Ben Simmons because, I mean, he's a good player. He's not the best scorer, but, I mean, he's a really good defender. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Ben Simmons. I hope he gets better, but, yeah, I don't know.
Thought that was a real aggressive play. We're going to go, I'm not mentally ready to play. What the heck is happening? I can't. I can't anymore.
Ben Simmons is interesting.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be an ongoing drama. You'll probably hear about this next week.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is going to go away anytime
I
soon.
don't think it is either.
So we're going to drop into Gideon's favorite topic. We're going to go to boxing. We didn't have any boxing last time, but since then, there has been some interesting stories and news coming up about a potential fight between Logan Paul and Mike Tyson. Gideon sent me this, and I did not believe it. I had to do my research to see that this was actually a thing. Because when you sent it to me, my initial reaction was, "Are you for real?"
Yeah, you were like, "Are you like, is this real?
Are you serious?"
And I mean, I had the same reaction. I saw this, and you see like people put stuff all the time that they're in talks or they're gonna fight so and so. This one's actually like real. Like this one's actually two teams going back and forth talking, and like serious talks. And this is like a fight. If I'm my type, I mean, I'll start with Logan Paul. Why? What do you even need this fight? I mean, you really don't need this fight. You're fighting a 53-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't even like, and I don't feel. I feel like this would be similar to the Roy Jones Jr. fight, and it's gonna be like a hard spar at best. I don't feel like they're gonna try to go out there and knock each other out. But I mean, it's just like it's really interesting. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, the Paul boys are good at one thing.
yeah,
They're good at making money,
yeah.
right? So I feel like I feel like it works out for both parties involved because Tyson's going to do it for money, I feel like, because we all know seems to be in trouble with money, apparently. That's why he did his last fight. But, I mean, I think a lot of people want to see this happen. Even with 53-year-old Mike Tyson, just seeing the headline, I'm sure exploded the internet and would explode pay-per-view. But then you got to ask yourself, so is this what boxing's turning into? Is boxing turning into what's the craziest out of this world random pay-per-view pairing we can put together? Because it doesn't seem like anybody cares anymore about the actual fighters. They just want that big name, used to be big name card to watch these crazy legacy fights. They don't really care about new fighters and what's going on with the sport.
You have like guys like Canelo and Devin Haney. You have all these people, Ryan Garcia, all these people, all these young fighters that are fighting soon, and nobody cares because it gets overshined with Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul in 2022 or 2021. Why is Mike Tyson still fighting? It's like, I think it's where boxing is going. I think this is where you're gonna get the most eyes with Jake Paul and Logan Paul and Mike Tyson come back to fight. And it's like it's okay for boxing. I mean, I think it gets a lot of eyes on boxing, but not for the right reason. Not because you want to see high level boxing, because you want to see high level entertainment, and that's what Logan Paul and Jake Paul are doing. I don't think it's bad for boxing, but it's not good for it either.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I feel like if you want to get boxing back in the spotlight, this is maybe a way to do it, but I don't know if it's the best way to do it. I feel like if you're going to do cards like this, if you really care about the sport, you need to make sure your undercards are stacked.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you stack those undercards with good fights, then people will want to watch the Canelos. They'll want to watch, Tyson Fury. They'll want to watch these other fighters fight because they're going to see these stacked undercards and know that boxing's still alive, still sport, and still has lots of contenders in it. I feel like a lot of people just feel like boxing's kind of dead, and there's not that drive for fighters to come into the sport now. And I feel like a lot of your mainstream fighters are your older fighters now. And so now they're just trying to cash in. I mean, They're just throwing names out there. You see two names, you're like, oh, great. Oh, wait, these dudes are 50?
Yeah.
What are we watching? Right? The Tyson's last fight was just them hugging the whole time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think like I don't think boxing's ever going to be able to compete with the UFC ever again. UFC is putting on too good of cards. I mean, the best are fighting the best when they should be fighting the best.
Yep.
In boxing, you're having guys that are gonna fight each other when they're in their 40s. You have guys in UFC when they're hot, they're going against other hot fighters. And I don't know. I feel like it's not bad for. I mean, it gets a lot of eyes. It's gonna get a lot. I mean, Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson is gonna get 1 million pay-per-view buys, but is it gonna be the most high-level boxing display? No, it's not. It's probably not even gonna be that entertaining because I don't think they're gonna go out there and try to hurt each other.
Yeah, and I think that's for me. That's the downside.
Yeah,
is you're not necessarily getting good boxing, and so it makes people feel like boxing as a sport's boring because you're not getting a good fight. You know what I'm saying? You're getting two dudes out there. They're gonna hug each other, maybe throw a couple punches, and then that's gonna be 6 rounds, 8 rounds of them leaning on each other the entire time. That would be my negative. Yeah, you're getting exposure, you're getting a lot of buys, but what's your product? I feel like it's hurting your product unless you stack your undercards.
Yeah, I want to say this. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a lot of talks of speaking of the Pauls, Jake Paul fighting Nate Diaz from the UFC.
That would be interesting.
And it's still like, why is Jake Paul fighting UFC fighters? But this is a fight that I think I would want to see.
Yeah,
that would be an interesting fight
for sure. We're gonna have to. We'll talk about that one on the next episode. For sure. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to look into that, and on our next one, we may do some UFC talks, but we'll definitely get back in NFL, NBA. If you guys have topics for us, drop them in the comments. If you got comments on our takes or think our takes are stupid or great, throw it in there. We'll gladly hit you back up.
We need something we need the Pick'ems loser. We need something for them to do when they lose.
Yeah, make sure you're dropping punishments in those comments for loser for the Pick'ems because I'm winning. So go ahead and drop them in there.
Probably.
But yeah, hey, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.